I meet so many guys at the grocery store, at a Starbucks, at a coffee shop.
You know what you need? You know those dating apps where you pay like $3,000? No.
A matchmaker.
Like, yeah. Like so Belinda was going to do one of them before.
Really?
Yeah, she was like in the works of like working for this app where they kind of like, what's the show? Married at First Sight or whatever.
And I've applied twice.
But they vet people. So it's like, it's based on personality. It's based on income, all these different things. Or, so there are people who pay like $3,000 a month because they want somebody in a certain income bracket or like, yeah, girl. So that's something. So it would have to be an investment for you.
Yeah.
And these are, they match you with people who are like serious about this and people if they want kids or not. So it's vetted before you get to meet these people.
But I have such amazing friends like Tanisha. Why can't you hook me up? Why can't my friends be hooking me up and introducing me to people? Like, you guys are...
I've never introduced you to anybody, have I?
Never.
You've only met, blah, blah, blah at the party.
Yeah,
I'm sorry about that.
Met...
You was like, is he gay? I was like, girl, I don't know.
Yeah, but he was just like more like Michael Jackson. Like that's the gay vibes I was getting.
You on a little bit, just the dance moves.
I mean, like he was like going in. He was like doing the dance moves and going. And I was like, okay, like maybe.
I'm like, he does this at all the parties.
Maybe he's just like an artist. Artists come in all shapes and
he
and
is
sizes.
an artist,
right? So I'm an artist. So I was like, yeah, let's do this.
I'm an artist, but
once he confirmed that he liked women, I was like,
one day. I think so.
Yeah,
I'm gonna find a football player for you. I got you.
Thank you.
I think. I'm gonna pray for you. So you off dating sites now? You're not doing it?
I'm on and off.
Okay.
Because like people ask me that too, like, oh, why don't you try meeting in person? Why don't you try, and I've done it. When I tell you 50% I meet in person, 50% I meet on dating apps. So it's like I've met men everywhere. Like,
why is it so hard? For women overall, I mean, like, why is it? And it's a rhetorical question. You don't have to answer that, but it's just a question to throw out there. Like, why is this shit so hard?
Yeah, I feel like it comes down to like, you need to be, your values need to match up, what you want together need to match up. Because if you don't have that, maybe he doesn't want kids. Like I've met a lot of great guys who don't want kids. That doesn't match up because I want kids. You know what I mean? So it's like, if your values aren't matching up, if things like that aren't like aligning, that it doesn't work, So I feel like a lot of that has come into play as well.
So when do you kind of decide, hey, let me compromise? What am I willing to sacrifice in order to find love?
I think about that. I don't know, because I don't know what I need to. I don't know what is reasonable to sacrifice. Right. Like if I could figure out what's reasonable, then I would be willing. I'm a very open-minded person, Yeah. I would be willing. Like, for example, dating outside my faith system. Like, I'm a Christian. I have another good friend who's a Christian who married a Muslim. I was like, okay, well, how was that like? It crashed and burned for her, but
it crashed and burned for my mom and dad too. But
right, so I feel like it just, again, like it's when you're looking for someone. If you're looking for marriage, you're looking for someone to be a life partner. So having similar value systems makes sense long term. If you're gonna share kids with this person because you want to, agree on how you're raising your children, agree on what you're teaching your children. Like, these are really important things to think about when you're thinking about a long-term partner. So, there's certain things that I don't feel like makes sense to compromise on. So it just depends. I guess, what are some examples do you think that I could compromise on?
Honestly, I feel like we only live once, right? Mm-hmm. So when I mentioned earlier going with the flow, I understand like a person may want someone who's serious and they want kids and they want the marriage and all that, but I don't think there's anything wrong with like going through relationships sometimes, literally just going with the flow. Because when people first meet, they say all these things. Oh, I don't want this, I do want this. They don't know what they want. It's not until they really meet that person, they mesh with that person, that that may change and they may really know what it is that they want. So sometimes you just have to go with the flow. Like, this person has a good heart, this person has a job. I mean, I understand the money part for you, so make sure like that's a part of it. But as far, girl, I already know. Make sure that's a part of it, and then kind of see if everything can kind of fall into place. And you're a strong believer in God, Christian faith, and pray on it and pray for that person. So that's what I mean by like going with the flow. You can't expect everything up front. Like,
right,
I want kids, you don't want kids. All right, it's a dub. We're not doing this. You can't fall back a little bit with that and just kind of go with it. Because guess what? You can always break up with them and on to the next. Go with the flow.
You know what? That's such great advice. Thank you, Tanisha, for that.
You're welcome, boo.
Because I do feel like because of having so many bad dates and having so many bad examples of what I don't want has put me on edge a little. You know, that's why I take breaks from dating and breaks from dating apps, so I won't be so on edge for the next person, because the next person could be that person, right? Yeah, but also like the going with the flow, I love that idea, because you're taking the pressure off of like what you need to have to date me and like the requirements, whatever. So I definitely feel like, you know, going with the flow is a good thing. I just feel like I feel like that also comes with more accountability to have the heart to break up with him if he's not right for me. And that's, I guess, because I'm such a Scorpio, like I'm such an emotional person. Like I feel like if I get too deep with someone, it's gonna be harder for me to like leave if I need to.
But you're so blunt as well. Like you don't care what people say. You know what I mean? You're super blunt and forward and candid, and this is your life.
Yeah. You're right.
This is your life.
You're right.
Yeah.
And I can't waste a day on an old dusty broke boy ever again.
If they dusty and broke, throw them to the side.
Yeah.
And go with the flow.
Yeah.
Go in those relationships. You know, if they have a good heart and the morals are there.
Yes. You're so right, Tanisha. You're so right. So Tanisha, enough about me. Let's talk about you. So tell me what it's like being a celebrity hairstylist.
Why she get on my nerves with this?
I
don't consider myself a celebrity hairstylist.
Do you work on celebs? Do you work on celeb hairs?
Yes, I do.
Did you work on 𝐤𝐤𝐤𝐿 hair?
Oh my God.
Yes.
But okay, so yes, I've you know, I have. You know.
How did you get into it? People want to be a hairstylist out there and they want to work on 𝐤𝐤𝐤𝐿's hair. How did you do it?
Word of mouth. A lot of my work is like through word of mouth.
Wow.
Yeah, I've been doing hair since, like every little Brooklyn girl. You know, you're outside braiding on the stoop, and then after graduating high school at like 17, I was contemplating between beauty school and college, and I knew I was going to go to college, but I had to go to beauty school. So I was 17 and I needed permission from my grandparents who raised me. It was hard, but ultimately grandpa was like, okay, you can go to beauty school. I was like, it makes sense to do something that I'm already doing and something that I love and make money doing it. And I've also been in, you know, I've very much been into like journalism, and I've always wanted to be a journalist. So after beauty school, I went to Brooklyn College and I got my undergrad in broadcast journalism, worked in news for a little bit, blah, blah, blah. And yeah, so I'm still pursuing, just got my master's in writing and producing for television. So, and I did like a couple jobs with that, and I'm still doing hair. So I'm 15 years in the hair industry, and I started off in a salon like everyone else, and I was like, I need more. I don't want to be in a salon, and so I started like freelancing, and I think I started freelancing in 2014, and that kind of in freelancing, that's when I started getting introduced to different people, whether I'm doing like hair on sale or if I'm doing hair for like Vogue or I don't know, some type of magazine or a fashion week. And so
what's been like some of the challenges of like that kind of career?
Challenges, first of all, you got to have a personality. That's number one. In New York City is really a jungle, so it's like so many people out here trying to get it, a lot of hairstylists everywhere, and so it's just like competition everywhere. But also like I primarily do like straighter, I don't know, Caucasian hair, so like being black,
right? So what's it like being a black woman hairstylist working on like white people's hairs, white celebrities' hairs? Like, is it different or is it the same? Like, how's the experience been for you?
I mean, it's, you know, when I first walk in the room and I don't know, we're on set of Nike or something, I'm always the only, you know, person of this color. And honestly, I for the most part, I feel like I'm respected, because I feel usually it's like, if you're here, then you must be good at what you're doing, if that makes sense.
Okay.
So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at with it. But I want to see more of my people. I'm starting to see more of my people, more makeup artists, but we need more of us, especially like on set where there's primarily, you know, Caucasian people, and they're attempting to do this type of hair and they don't know what they're doing. It's like they'll see, you know, locks or faux locks, and it's like, they're like, wait, oh, this is so nice. And it's like, oh, this is not my hair. Oh my God, can you teach me? Why don't you bring me on set with you? Like, why should I have to teach you? Bring me and my people on so that we can
Oh,
so that we
you
can
mean they're
do this.
asking you to teach them so they can get the job?
Yeah, like for instance,
Wow.
yeah, that happens a lot.
Wow.
Like, so I'll assist people. If I assist someone on a job, normally I'm brought in, if you ask me, as an assistant, because I'm this color, and I know, and once I get there, the models are this color, and I know you don't know how to do this color here, or this kind of hair, or let's just say, you know, textured hair, curly hair.
Yes.
But they want, you know, and even during the height of the pandemic, a lot of like Nia Long and a lot of people came forward about, you know, getting their hair done on set. Why aren't there any black people on set?
Right.
You have all these, and then even back in the day, and probably sometimes now, you'll see like the makeup doesn't match the complexion.
Girl, that happens to me still.
Ashy, and even as a model, I'm sure you know that.
So sad.
So that's the one annoying thing about like the hair industry, or just the beauty industry, or overall. I feel like we need more of us on sets.
I agree.
You know, photo shoots and different things like that. So I'm blessed and I'm grateful, like, to have the opportunity to do it. When I get jobs and I can't fulfill the jobs, I'll pass it on to another sister or brother. So
as you should.
Yeah.
Because honestly, like, I'm so sick of going on sets, and it happens less and less now. But when I first started modeling, I would have to like bring my own makeup to set because they wouldn't have my foundation shade. They would make me 5 shades lighter, 5 shades darker, and they think it's normal. I'm just like, I look crazy right now? You don't think I look crazy?
Right.
And like, even like the hair thing, my hair, I don't feel like is as difficult to deal with, but like sometimes they don't know how to deal with my hair, and I'm just like, can you hire someone who does know how to do my hair? Like, why were you suffering?
It's like you walk in looking better and leave looking crazy. It's like, what are you doing? So if you notice, like, when it comes to like shows with like black people, they'll have like bangs. They'll have braids or different things like that, styles that'll last for the, you know, for the time that they're shooting, because you have to have how do you say, you have to have why am I losing the word? But y'all help me out here.
I know
continuity.
Okay, consistency.
Continuity is the word.
Continuity.
So like if you're on set and the hair is like this,
right,
and it's like styled a certain way, it has to be that way.
Make sure,
because a lot of times you're shooting the same scenes on different days, so you have to have continuity. So you'll have, like, for a black person, they'll have like braids or like twists or something like that, something that works for them, because that person on set that's not, you know, a person that doesn't know how to deal with the hair won't be able to deal with the hair, so they'll seek outside, you know, work. Right. Will help with their hair. So
well, I think you've done such a fabulous job on all this stuff that I've seen you do, and even on my hair, she's done such a fabulous job. And
thank you.
Yeah,
you know, I try cut do a little fade hair, do a little, you know, color there.
Yeah.
But that's what I love about the hair. Like, at least for me, like, I'm very diverse with it. I can do anybody's hair. Like, you're talented. Yeah, you put straight person or a white person in front of me. You want a haircut, I got you. A black person, I got you. This, that, anything.
I love that.
Anything. Yeah.
Tanisha.
Thank you.
I'm so glad that I had Tanisha on this episode, because she's one of my dear friends. Literally, she's seen me through the best times and the worst times, and like, and literally, I haven't talked to her. Yes, and I haven't talked to her in like so many months. So like, this is like our catch up. So you guys got to hear our little catch up.
We only do a little text here and there. What's up? Happy birthday. You good? I was thinking, okay, yeah. So really, exactly.
All the, you know, and so I'm so glad to have her in my life. I'm glad that you guys got a little sneak peek into what it's like to be friends with us, and like, and just tell me one thing about like growing up in Brooklyn and being here, and like, you know, in the past few years that we've experienced, like, tell me like a really good memory or time in Brooklyn that you've had with like our friend group, and like what was that like? I can't remember what we've done so many things, so
that's why I'm like, what, like, let me see if I can a memory that we've had with our friend group. Obviously the basement parties, like, I've always like enjoyed the parties.
If you guys have never been to Brooklyn, like, Tanisha, like, she throws the best like Brooklyn basement parties ever, like all the best music, everybody dancing, like not one person just sitting down being bored. Like, she throws a lit party. And like, before I moved to New York, I guess I've been living here for like 7 years, but before I moved here, I've never experienced like this beautiful city in the way that I've experienced it with Tanisha. And she is an OG Brooklyn girl, like Brooklyn baby. Like, and I always tell her, I'm like, Tanisha, you have an authentic Brooklyn accent. Do you know how many people try to fake it? And I'm just like, yeah, a lot of sound crazy.
I try to erase it. I code switch a little bit. Especially
that's the thing.
Thank you, but that's the thing. Like, working in the industry that I'm in, Like I walk in, I'm like, okay, so I have to talk like this, you know. I'm educated, it's no problem. Like, yeah, I no problem, I got you. And I was like, and I'm talking to them, and I'm saying, I'm like, oh, talk to me. When I cut somebody's hair, if I'm doing something, I'm like, talk to me. What you want? They're like, what? I'm like, talk to me. So I'm like, oh shoot, they don't know what talk means. I gotta say, talk to me, because I literally say talk. Anybody from Brooklyn say talk. We don't say talk. So it's a lot of code switching going on. So
yes, and I love it, because I love the realness she brings, like the authentic Brooklyn comes, and I'm just like, oh yes, I'm back home in New York, and I love it.
As if it's meant to be, then it'll be a love song.